Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. I haven't done one of these for about 2-3 weeks. It's my favorite show of the week with Ashraf. Quest is going to be joining us, Sam as well, but we're joined by Luna. We have to include Man United on this show. We have to. Man United are a big player now. They are targeting Somerville. They're targeting Matthias Fernandez. They are involved with the big boys now. Man United are replacing Chelsea probably on these platforms now. We'll talk about that as well. So hit that like button, people, if you guys are here. We're talking Matthias Fernandez to Manchester United. Is it a level raiser for Man United above Casemiro? We're talking objectively, of course. I want to talk about Gyokeres and Alvarez deal that happened, along with the Morgan Rogers deal for Arsenal, because I have an opinion that might upset a lot of people. A lot of Arsenal fans have watched the reaction online. We'll talk about Chelsea, and they're targeting the left back, Carrasco, whatever his name is, from Real Madrid. He's linked heavily with Chelsea today to replace Cucurella. We're talking about all of this. By the way, guys, I'm just going to say something. Hit that like button if you guys are here. I know, Eric, you sent a gift. I have no idea what a gift is. It says there is a gift. I don't know what is the gift. I don't know. Does anybody know what is a gift on YouTube? Does anybody know what is a gift on YouTube? Because I know that these things that get sent on TikTok and stuff like this on live shows. What is the gift on YouTube?
He sent you a red card. You've been dismissed from the panel, Mo. You've got a red card.
He sent a red card. All right, guys.
Unbelievable.
It's like a
big up
sticker.
Lou for joining us. If people know Lou from the Football Terrace, upcoming content creator, Man United fan, very objective Manchester United fan, not deluded. She's kind of from Bowlers FC, but not much, like Ahmed. Ashraf, haven't met her before. This is Ashraf, of course, an Arsenal fan.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
She's good. Hit that like button, people. We got over 400 people and we're just starting. And I want to start right away, because we haven't spoken about Arsenal on the other show. I want to start right away with the Gyokeres and Julian Alvarez deal. The bomba that dropped, you know what happened, Ashraf, right? So you know what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to start right away. My interactions with people and also what I saw on Twitter is everyone said no. 50 million euros plus Gyokeres, everyone said no. Most Arsenal fans said no. We don't want the deal like this. Even though a lot of them would say pay the 120 million euros for 130 million euros for Julian Alvarez. That means they value Gyokeres way more than 70 million euros or 80 million euros, for example. And I'm like, would you upgrade on Gyokeres with Julian Alvarez for only 50 million euros? And I'm like, I think that's a no-brainer for me.
I think that would be probably one of our best bargains if we do that. Generally, I think any Arsenal fan saying no to that is just they're just in the emotional
Okay, hold on.
wave.
Anyway,
right
everyone in the chat, Arsenal fans, would you do the deal or no? Yes, to go for the deal, and no to not go for the deal. Can you guys? By the way, the news. I'm just gonna confirm this. The news are Atletico Madrid offered Arsenal this, and it was confirmed, and Arsenal said no. So go ahead, Ashraf. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to
as I said, I think anyone saying no, it's just probably in the euphoria and the emotion. Like, obviously, look, Gyokeres in the second half was definitely a lot better, but he's nowhere near Julian Alvarez's level. I personally would be okay with paying 120 million for Julian Alvarez. So if we're saying 50 million, then yeah, exactly. We're valuing Gyokeres at like 50 to 70 million, which I think is absolutely fair. So yeah, I don't know. I find it ridiculous that we would say no to such an offer like that. I think we definitely have to take it.
Are you serious? I think Havertz.
Yeah, look, I will say this. I would offer Havertz before Gyokeres. Yes, I agree with that notion. Like Havertz for me, I would rather keep Gyokeres, get someone like Julian Alvarez, and get rid of Havertz. But if it's only Gyokeres or no one else and 50 million, I wouldn't mind. Like, take the deal immediately. We immediately upgrade on our striker position, right? We go from having two, I'm not going to disrespect them, I would say two above average strikers to having someone who is potentially a world-class striker, right? With much better service, especially if we also get ROGERS, obviously with Odegaard and all these other guys, Saka and all these other guys still there. So I don't know, man. I don't get why we are so emotionally attached to players that we let it blind.
Yeah, you're still emotionally attached to Martinelli.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I've seen some videos where some people are saying they'd keep Martinelli instead of getting. I don't remember. Some Arsenal fan tweeted this about they'd rather keep Martinelli and Trossard than get someone like Mbappe with his attitude problems and stuff.
No, but that's old. That's an old thing.
I'm like, bro. Yeah, it changed after yesterday's game. That's why.
The links are not fake. Just for people to know, the links are true with Julian Alvarez. So what do you think, Lou?
I'm one of those emotional fans, so I try not to judge other fans for being emotional. You know, I understand it. I try and be rational. I do try and be level-headed, but I understand on a rational level. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense. But I do understand the emotions behind it. When it's yours already, you do sort of value it a little bit higher than it actually is worth. And I've also seen some of the people in the chat there are saying, why would you swap when you can just buy? So there's a lot of people, I think, maybe wouldn't do the deal, not because they don't think it's a good deal, but because they don't want to lose Gyokeres. They want to have both, which I think is fair, because at the moment, it's pretty obvious that Atleti do not want to sell him to another Spanish club. And the only other real club that has been involved in transfer talk is Arsenal. So there's a possibility that Arsenal might be able to just outright buy him, because I'll be honest, I see this 150 million fee. I think that's for Spanish clubs. I don't think if Arsenal was in with a reasonable offer, unless you're going to turn down 120, 110 from Arsenal. I believe they're turning down those massive offers because they do not want to sell him within Spain. So I understand the thinking of people who are saying, why would we let Gyokeres go to bring him in when we can just buy him outright and have both? Do you know what I mean?
They don't have the money. Honestly, they don't have the money. They don't have the money.
Who doesn't have the money?
Arsenal don't have the money to buy an 80 million pound or 100 million pound what's his name? Morgan ROGERS, a midfielder, and 130 million euros. They value him at 120 to 130 million euros. Atletico Madrid, based on what I'm reading online, Atletico Madrid value Gyokeres at 70. That's why they want 50 plus Gyokeres. So Arsenal can't spend 380 million on 3 players only. That's what it's said. That's what I know, because they might need to sell Ben White and spend a little extra to get an extra right back. You know what I mean? They might need to spend on a midfielder. People say that Arsenal have money. Arsenal aren't going to spend 500 million out of their pocket in one window. There has to be like an adjustment. Like, I hope that fans stop being stupid. What happened with Liverpool last season is because Liverpool spent 11 million euros on Chiesa the season before. Like, So it balanced each other.
Yeah. Even with the Champions League
people-
final and the Premier League winnings, it doesn't mean we're going to spend $500,000.
I know
agree.
that you have money. Okay. Don't get me. I know that you have the money. Arsenal, the Kroenkes aren't idiots. They aren't going to spend outright 450 million pounds
Correct.
out of their pocket in one summer.
Without selling,
Because-
at least.
Also, because you don't need that. You might do this later if you have a summer that we don't spend, but in the same time, you don't have the guys. You aren't now like Gabriel Jesus is going to get you 20 million euros. That's what the market offers for Gabriel Jesus. Ben White isn't going to get you 50 million, but it might get you like 30. So Arsenal are going to look to spend 250 million outright out of your pocket, but to get the rest, you might have to. So 130 million euros for Julian Alvarez outright might be a little bit. It's not a rage bait. Guys, that's just logical. 300 million, if the budget is fine. Guys, 300 million is fine, but
you don't think they might end up deciding between getting Alvarez and getting Morgan Rogers? Rather than letting Gyokeres go, might they just decide not to get Morgan Rogers and to put all of that money towards getting Julian Alvarez? Obviously not the same position, but they might decide that that's a more priority to them.
The striker isn't priority.
Well, if they're looking to spend that kind of a money, do you know what I mean?
I think the priority would be left wing. In my, if you believe everything the reputable journalists are saying, and honestly, just given the problems we've had from last season, it's definitely left wing that's a priority. Even though I think strikers should also be looked at with a lot of importance, but not as much as the left wing. And honestly, Julian Alvarez, look, obviously we're talking about it because it's been reported in the news, but I think anyone who thinks Julian Alvarez is going anywhere,
why are people saying I make things up? How am I making things up?
It was reported by Polymarket. I don't know if it's reputable or not, to be fair, but
but every single big Arsenal account have confirmed that the Atletico Madrid spoke about it with Arsenal. Arsenal said no. So it is confirmed. The news is confirmed. Also, it's not my fucking job to confirm every single fucking bit of news. It's not my job.
But don't you think, right? See what you're saying there. I agree.
Sorry, can I let Ashraf finish with the strike?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I generally, the Alvarez thing, obviously we're discussing it because it's been reported, but the reality is, I've said this before as well, I don't think there's any scenario where he comes back to England. Like, he's made it clear. People are saying, oh yeah, but Atletico only want to sell him there, but Atletico cannot force him to go back to England. I think what he does is he probably runs out another year of his contract, worst case scenario, and then he's made it clear that he wants to stay in Spain, and I think his preference is Barcelona. I think eventually that move will happen. Whether it happens this summer, whether he waits another year, the value comes down a little bit more, and then he goes to Barca the year after, I don't know, but he's eventually going to get a move to Barcelona. I don't think he's going to leave Spain. He's clearly comfortable there. So everyone just talking about it is just talking about it because obviously it's been reported, I understand, but he's never going to come back to England. Like, I don't see why he would even do that.
I don't think he is. I don't think you say never. I think it all depends on if he's willing to play for Simeone again, right?
He doesn't have an issue with Simeone. He just wants to move to Barca. There's a difference. If anything, I think Simeone is probably a reason why he even went there in the first place. Argentinian connection. He's got Argentinian friends in the team. I think if he has to choose between being at Atletico or coming back to England, he'll choose staying another year with Atletico.
Yeah, but you go to Arsenal, you win trophies. You stay at Atletico, you don't win that.
But Moho, you're thinking about it, so it's not black and white. Exactly.
Players are emotional the way fans are, right? See if I want to move, right? Say I get my dream move to Manchester United and the current club I'm with are like, no, we'll sell you somewhere else, but we're definitely not selling you to Manchester United. We'll sell you to anybody else, but not Manchester United. Even if I didn't have a problem before, I'm going to suddenly develop a problem because emotionally, that's where I want to go. And you're stopping me from going to the only place that I want to go. The thing is, they don't want to sell him within Spain. The only place he wants to go is within Spain. That's the problem. That's where they're at.
Fair enough.
And in the end, players usually get what they want, to be fair. Players like him, with that stature, usually get what they want. The Atletico will just have to make sure they profit out of it.
Fair enough. That Gyokeres Alvarez deal is disrespectful even on FIFA. Why is Victor Gyokeres better than Julian Alvarez in your opinion, Nabar? Do the deal now. Okay, if that is on the market, do it 100%. I do not understand this fan base obsession with Gyokeres. And is there anyone obsessed with Gyokeres, people? Is there anyone obsessed? Are Arsenal fans obsessed with Gyokeres?
Arsenal fans are generally obsessed with a lot of our players. Sorry, guys, I just had a quick meal. My bad.
Go ahead.
I'm telling you, it's not just Arsenal. I think it's obviously a lot of fans, but we are quite emotionally attached to a lot of players that we're willing to let it cloud our judgment. And especially after we won a league. Bro, I've had debates with people, especially on the Kura pod, where they're like, you can't slag off Madueke. He helped win us the league. I'm like, no, he didn't. We would have won the league even without him. Like, we need to be okay with saying, hey, thank you for everything you've done, but there's a better option. And we are that kind of club that's at the pinnacle right now in terms of challenging and competing for trophies. If I ask you guys now, who's the favorite for the Premier League next season, I think both of you will say Arsenal, if I'm not wrong. As things stand right now, at least. Yes, sure. If I ask you, name me the top 3 favorites for the Champions League next season, it's not crazy to put Arsenal in that conversation, right? So we're already at the pinnacle where we are considered...
You're dog shit and got there by luck.
Sure. We're already considered the pinnacle when it comes to challenging. At that level, you should always be looking to get the best of the best in almost every position, right? And Gyokeres isn't the best in that position. I would argue he's not even top 5 strikers in the world. And Julian Alvarez probably is. So I don't see why anyone would even have a conversation about that. And 70 million for Gyokeres, excellent money.
Messi, Hatti, Mbappe, Havertz, Haaland, Brace, Cristiano Ronaldo. We'll talk about the World Cup if anybody is interested in talking about the World Cup. Cristiano is got a... I'm not.
How could anyone not be interested in talking about the World Cup, man?
I watched 2 games. 3 games.
You're weird. I'm not gonna lie.
I watched Morocco, Brazil. Okay, I watched Egypt. I was late 15 minutes. Yesterday I watched a bit of Algeria, Argentina, most of it, but because I was awake. And France, and because I was sitting with my wife in a coffee shop. We were doing stuff. So I watched that's it. That's
Mo, it's the World Cup, bro.
I have to be fair, I'm with Mo on this one. I was like, on my channel, I was like, I'm not covering the World Cup. I don't care about the World Cup. My country's not in it. I'm not interested. I don't even like international football. I don't want to know. And then I just found myself getting caught up in the hype of it. And then I was like, I'll just watch one. Then I just watched another one. And now I'm watching them all. It's ridiculous. I learned
you got there better late than never.
Of security, and then I just got caught up in it all. But some of the games have been really good. Like Morocco were very good. Iraq were very good against Norway. Like I enjoyed the surprise. I just love the chaos. I love the chaos. Do you see when people expect teams not to be great and then they're brilliant? I'm like, yes, that's what I want. I have no horse in the race. I don't care who wins. I'm just there for the chaos. I want all the upsets.
It has been a very good World Cup so far. At least from a game, from the match perspective.
That's all I want.
Inshallah, Mo. We'll get there.
All I want is I want Morocco to reach the final or something. That's all I want from this World Cup. I don't care about Argentina. Italy's not there.
I think we'll top our group. Egypt. I'm not going to lie. I think we will top our group.
I want Egypt to go through. I don't think that Egypt will get to the final. I think Morocco has a much better chance. That's why I'm behind Morocco. I want the Africa. I want Senegal to do well. I want the Africans and the Arab teams to do well. That's about it, to be honest with you. I don't want to get political, but it's fine. I just, I don't like players because I don't like players representing their countries just because the country you wanted to represent didn't call you up, so you chose the other country. Because I think there's no sense of loyalty there. You're treating it as a football club that your dream move didn't happen, so you went for the second one. And I'm like, the guy that played for Algeria yesterday, Zidane, the goalkeeper. I'm like, Broski, if you were good enough when France called you, you wouldn't have even flinched. You wouldn't have said anything about playing for Algeria. So that means you have no sense of belonging. You don't care about Algeria. And you just playing there because that's the available national team that is there for you. You have no sense of belonging to Algeria. Anyway, that's...
but Mo, if he's not good enough to play for France, why wouldn't he play for Algeria, the other country? It's not like he's denounced his Algerian heritage.
Because he didn't want to play for Algeria in the first place. It's not a club. Your sense of belonging is always there.
But you can belong to 2 countries, no? Why is that abnormal?
I don't think that Zidane belongs to Algeria whatsoever.
I mean, I don't know him personally. I don't know what he does in his personal time. Maybe, but...
Anyway, that's just me.
I know. Yeah, I hear you.
And I don't like the people giving citizenship just for people to play football while refusing to give citizenship.
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous.
For the country.
That's ridiculous,
Like, I get it. Like, okay, so talking about the French players that play for France, these people, their parents are immigrants. They were born there. They're French. Okay, basically, people that immigrate. It's a similar. It doesn't matter if your parents immigrated to France 50 years ago or people immigrated in America 300. A lot of people are immigrants. You know what I mean? But what I don't like is, for example, and I'm Qatar, for example, and I was talking. I know it's getting political, but I was talking to my mom about Qatar about this, and I said, I don't like that Qatar wouldn't give citizenship to someone that would work there for 30 years, but it will give a citizenship for a player that would play there for 2 years just because they don't have enough people to create a national team, to have a good national team, because that person that represents the country, they don't care about the country whatsoever. They never serve the country. And basically, once they stop playing football, they would leave the country and never look back. They'll never go back to Qatar. They have no sense of belonging. Basically, they're treating the national team as a club. And I'm like, that's so unfair for the people that lived in Qatar for 30 years and never sniffed the chance of getting citizenship, while you're giving citizenship to someone because they got good at football, because you don't have enough players. And I'm sorry. I didn't like this, even though Qatar is an Arab country and I'm behind Qatar. I want Qatar to win and I was rooting for Qatar to win. But I don't like this because I know that Qatar wouldn't give someone that stays there for 50 years citizenship. I don't like it.
The only thing I would say,
I don't mind France. I don't mind the American. Like, for me, I'm someone who immigrated in America. I both in my time, me serving America, I got the citizenship, right? It's not, I wouldn't leave America and not look back, but for me, if you don't have a route for citizenship for normal people, you do not neutralize citizens just to play for your national team. You don't.
I completely hear you and I agree, but the only thing I will caveat that with is it's not a football thing. They would do, like, they even do it for investors who invest millions into the country. No, not even sports. If you're a business person who invested in that country and started businesses there, you also end up getting it. And I also agree with you that I don't think it's fair. But to the country, they're just looking at what can make us profitable, what can make us more money. This billionaire can make us even more money. This footballer can make us even more, put us more on the map. They're thinking about it more from but I completely get your point. And overall, I do agree with the moral stance, though.
For me, morally, if someone's serving the country for 30 years, aren't they worthy of a citizenship that someone that will come in to play football for like 5, 6, 7 years and leave and never look back? Like, there's a lot of people that work in countries that they would stay in that country forever if you give them a straight, you know what I mean? By the way, if you don't fucking like it, it's up to you. I said morally, I disagree with it. That's my opinion. If someone moves to a country and serves them. Anyway, moving on from this conversation, I just wanted to say that. Mo, we should just have a duel on the Nelly thing and settle it for good. Lol joking, of course, love the channel. Big up Lou and Ash. Big up Marco for this. Marco put me up on the Zubamendi thing the other day, and Ashraf as well. Does Kai not have better goal-to-game ratio than Gyokeres? Talking about Kai Havertz, though, I was speaking the other day with Paz and Touchline about this, and I'm like, I'm not sure if you watched that part, and I'm like, there must be something about Kai Havertz that every single coach like him. It's like Thomas Muller stuff. I'm like, he must be doing stuff that is correct on the pitch.
Like who? Which coach? Tell me which coach likes him.
Arteta likes him. The German coach, all of them likes him.
The German coach doesn't have a better striker. That's why they have no other option. Chelsea didn't like him. That's why they wanted him out. And that's why, even though he scored the Champions League goal for them, they still said he's a flop and we need to sell him.
So you don't think that Gyokeres does anything special?
Gyokeres or Havertz? You're speaking about Havertz.
Havertz.
No, I think he has some good things. I think as a backup striker, he's not bad. In fact, as a backup striker, I'd love to keep him. As a starting striker, he's definitely not good enough. He's not a great finisher. He doesn't win most of his duels. He's not the best dribbler. He's not the same Havertz that came from Leverkusen with that hype and that quality and that skill. The reality is people say, oh, everyone likes him. Look at the context and the situation. He's liked in Germany. He starts for Germany because they don't have a better striker. But if they had a better striker, he wouldn't be starting. Right? If they had someone like, I don't know, even though Marco Reus wasn't a striker, but let's say he was playing up front and he was like in his peak level, he was 23, 24, he would be starting for them. Right? Germany have not had a good striker for the last 10, 15 years. They had to play a 36 or 35-year-old Miroslav Klose in the 2014 World Cup they won.
Yeah.
When he does
I'm going to
play
go back
for
to
you
the
guys, so he's effective, because if it wasn't for his goal against Sporting, you wouldn't have got as far as you did in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like, he is effective.
I don't think he's that effective, because I think if you have the Julian Alvarez in place of Havertz, I think he scores more goals and probably gets involved in more play as well. I think he does. Look, Havertz has had good moments. Don't get me wrong. That's why I said I would definitely love to have him as a backup striker. But I think as a starting striker, I actually think we end up, there's an opportunity cost to everything, and I think with him the opportunity cost is too high, because you have, maybe not this last season, but at least up until the season before that, we've had very good creators who were creating high volume chances, and he was at the end of missing a lot of them, when you could actually have a striker who's a lot more clinical and would probably have won us a lot more games.
Yeah.
Can I ask, I know you want to go to the super chats, Mo, but see on Gyokeres, right? See from the outside looking in, because obviously before he went to Arsenal, it was kind of Sesko, Gyokeres, Arsenal, United. That was the whole thing of last summer, forever and ever and ever. I think me and Mo might have had this conversation. I can't remember, but I had the conversation last summer where I was like, I don't think you can directly compare those two players, because for me, they were at very different points in their career. I don't think they were comparable at the time. But I'm quite happy that we got Sesko. And while I do feel like Gyokeres' numbers for you guys have been quite good in obviously what was a Premier League winning campaign, do you know that thing you can't put your finger on? Do you know that feeling you get about a player? I don't look at Gyokeres, I don't watch him play, I don't feel like, wow. Do you know what I mean? For a striker with good numbers at a Premier League winning team, I don't feel the wow. If you get me. Like, I don't feel like we missed the boat by getting Sesko.
Look, I will say, and I've said this since last summer, because I have watched Sesko at Leipzig. I do think Gyokeres is better than him, but I agree with you. Gyokeres isn't a wow striker. Your eyes, you said the numbers are good. The numbers are good in the second half of the season. Yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
But if you take his overall season, the numbers aren't great. The numbers are okay. 14 goals.
Yeah.
As a starting striker for Arsenal in the Premier League is for your first season. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It's very average. The reason why I agree with you that he's not a wow striker, because he doesn't have the one thing he had about him coming into the Premier League, at least based on his reputation, was mad scoring numbers. And obviously we knew that he's not going to be able to translate it 100% to the Premier League, but you would have expected at least like 70%. And at 70%, he still would have had like 20 plus goals in the Premier League. The problem is that main thing that made him so lucrative last summer was not there this season. And the other stuff we already knew he wasn't good at. Like, he's not a good dribbler. He's not a good holder of the ball. He's not like an elite passer. Like these other things that could have maybe glossed over some of the lack of goal scoring in the first half of the season, we would have at least seen that and said, oh, you know what? At least he's doing this. Like Jesus, I remember when he first joined us. In his first half of the season, when he had 8 or 9 goals, I can't remember, obviously before the World Cup, before he got injured, the numbers weren't crazy. But the other stuff he was doing was so fantastic that we're like, okay, it's just the numbers that are missing, but everything else is on point. Whereas with Gyokeres, everything else was missing. And obviously, second half of the season, he did pick up the numbers, which is the most important thing. So he just needs to continue at that same level next season.
Special hi to Lou. Yep, Lou. Getting a lot of love from the people in the chat. Xhaka, he was crap for 5 seasons before 22-23. That is related to how Gyokeres can improve as well. So maybe you're correct, AMT.
I will say this: I did the research on this. There is no striker that flopped in his first full season in the Premier League and then went on to succeed after. At least not since Drogba, which was like more than 20 years ago. So you're betting on mad odds, but hey, hopefully, I'm rooting for him too.
Why the F putting politics into the World Cup, Mo? I'm gonna tell you something, AMT.
There are politics in the World Cup. It is what it is.
It's free speech anyway, AMT. By the way, I am someone who doesn't get mad at different political opinions. By the way, I can sit and debate political opinions with anyone, regardless of what you talk about. By the way, I don't care if you're far right, far left. Listen, I sat down and spoke with my far right friends in America that support Trump and we had a laugh about it. As long as you accept that the opposition has a different opinion than you and they're not malicious, I'm okay with you saying anything. As long as it's not bigot, as long as it's not racist, as long as you have a valid reason for it. You know, bro, you don't know that some of the stuff that I discuss with my friends after football matches in the US are mad. So, and also AMT, I didn't bring politics. America brought politics to the World Cup when they prevented the Iranian players from going into America to practice and training. It's not us.
Or the Somali referee from entering the country to referee.
It's not my fault that America and the government brought this up. I didn't bring it up. They did. The damn politicians are doing it. They are. And we have the right to discuss it. I like to think of this channel as a free speech channel. You can say whatever you want as long as it's not racist or like it's something.
Like you can say F Mo, it's fine. It's okay.
Whatever, bro. A lot of people say that on the channel anyway. Doesn't matter.
I'm joking, man. Mo is amazing.
Like I'm seriously.
By the
like,
way, just to respond to some comments.
I told you I would like to actually start a channel where I react to politics opinions because I think it's great to have conversations about things that people say, like about immigration and about deportations and about, like, I would love that. And if I have audience for it, I would do it because I enjoy it a lot discussing political opinions, as long as people don't get upset if there's someone else that have a different opinion than them. That's it.
I stay out of politics conversations. I'm one of those people that gets heated, so I just stay out of it because I know I do, so stay out of it. It's
I go in
better off for me and it's better off for everybody.
I know.
I think it's good. I think it's good that you can stay calm and that you can have those conversations, but I know myself, I'm not the type of person to have those conversations, depending on what it is. But like, obviously, you know, Ireland has quite a political history. So I tend to just stay away from all of it because I have strong opinions on a lot of it. So I stay out of it. Stay out of it. It's better for my mental health.
I don't think anything is all that bad. Like, for example, let me give you something. Trump, he's like 100% bad. I don't think, I'm going to tell you something. The first time Trump was the president, I got the best tax bracket I've ever been since I was in the UK, in the US. You know what I mean? That was good for me as a citizen. That was good for me. You know what I mean? My green card, what people say, but my green card was accepted while Trump was in power. So it's not all bad, even though he did a lot of bad things. For me, I benefited from him, and I got some bad stuff as well that happened in the economy and stuff. Similar for Biden, similar for Obama. As long as you're open to discuss things and not have like, Trump is shit, and that's about it. Trump is shit in things and good in other things. It's how do you want to talk about it? Simple as that. Havertz hold up, aerial link up movement is better than Gyokeres.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't think that makes him a better striker, though.
I think at the end of the season, the last like 3-4 games, especially the Atletico Madrid game, Gyokeres really terrorized the Atletico Madrid defenders in that game. And that was an elite hold-up play by him. He terrorized them. So, Mo, you said vote for your favorite for the World Cup. Where is England? If you guys think England are favorites, I will literally remove the poll and put England. I put France, Argentina, Portugal, and Morocco. I put Morocco out of
I think it's crazy that you put Argentina ahead of England, even though I know they have the greatest of all time. Don't get me wrong, but I think England are third favorites for this.
It is very exciting to watch Madueke and Gordon on each side. It's amazing.
It won't be Madueke. It'll be Saka and Gordon.
Hey, they said Saka's injured.
Only for the first game. Only for the first game.
No, okay. I didn't know that. They said the lineup, but I can put.
If Madueke starts for them all tournament, then good luck to England, bro. I don't think they'll make it far, but I don't think he'll start.
Politics will always be intertwined in sport. Yes, it will always be there.
Fortunately, yeah.
It will always be there. Yes, 100%. About Morgan Rogers, I'm gonna ask you something. Between Barcola and Morgan Rogers, for Arsenal, if you have to choose one, which one would you take?
See, I had a different answer last week, but I'm gonna give a new updated answer. Last week, I was
That's
asked this
okay.
question on Igal's channel. And I said, if I had, or Igal's channel, I can't remember which one. If I had a choice.
Ashraf, can I stop you? Stop. Guys, I didn't mean to start a political debate in the chat between people. Can we go back to the football? Guys, guys, it is all right. Guys, back to football, please. Back to football.
Don't worry. I will unite all the rivals and obviously Arsenal fans. Madueke sucks. Now all Arsenal fans will jump on the Madueke train. Rivals will love to shit on him.
I'm sorry. Go back.
I look, last week I said if it's a choice between the two for the left wing, because I don't want ROGERS as a left wing. I want ROGERS as a 10. I think ROGERS as a 10 would be fantastic for us. Last week I was saying, if I have no choice, then I would rather get ROGERS, play him in the 10 and play Eze on the left, even though it's not my preferred option, to be fair. But now, honestly, like just thinking about it and thinking about what Barcola could give us compared to, let's say, if ROGERS comes, because if ROGERS comes, he is going to play on the wing, unfortunately. At least if you believe Fabrizio and what others are saying. And in that scenario, I would rather get Barcola to come on the left and then continue with Eze and Odegaard competing for the 10. But logically, if we are serious, we would get ROGERS and Barcola, right? Or ROGERS and Yildiz from Juventus, for example. Basically get ROGERS and a left wing. And now your new team becomes Saka, ROGERS, the new left winger, obviously Rice, and I don't know who will play in the midfield next season. And then a playmaker, whether it's Eze or and then a striker, my bad.
I feel like Barcola's going to Liverpool. Do you know when you just get a feeling?
They're not.
You don't know that. Nobody knows that. We're all guessing. It's all guesswork. It might be informed guessing. It might be educated guessing. But
it is an educated guess.
Is all guessing. Okay, well,
but
my
it's all an educated
guess is he goes to Liverpool. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and what about Diomande?
My educated guess is he goes to Liverpool.
And what about Diomande? So you think they get both?
No.
But they do need two wingers, though, no? They need
I don't think they get Diomande.
You think that Liverpool would spend 200
No, I just said twice I don't think they get Diomande. I think they get Barcola.
So Lou doesn't think they'll get Diomande, and I agree with her. I don't think they get both, but I do think they need to get two wingers. So I don't think it's crazy to say they could get two wingers. But I do agree with Lou that I don't think they get both Barcola and Diomande.
No, definitely not. Obviously, if they get Diomande, I don't think they get Barcola, but I don't think they get Diomande, so I'm operating under that sort of sphere. I often say, and I say this a lot on my channel, sometimes you can have a really good team and a really good player, but they're not quite a match. The vibe of the team and the players, you know, when you look at a player and you say, oh, that's an Arsenal player, that's a United player, that's a City player, and you can get the vibe from them. I feel like Morgan ROGERS is an Arsenal player. He has a vibe of an Arsenal player, not in a bad way, a good way. When I watch him play, I can see him playing at Arsenal. When I
in what aspect?
Barcola,
in what aspect?
Yeah, but in
that's
which?
What I mean, it's not like a factual.
In which position?
In which position? I was going to ask Lou. In what position though do you see him play?
He's very similar to Eze.
I think he'd end up playing on the wing. That's where I think he'd end up.
But it's that's a very similar thing.
Use, but I think that's where he ends up.
Yeah, but that's a very similar thing to Eze.
Exactly.
I
think that would be a mistake, in my opinion.
It might be a mistake. Our clubs make mistakes all the time. Our clubs do stupid stuff all the time. Do you know what I mean? We're looking at three midfielders, which we need, but we need left back. Do you know?
Most of Arsenal fans get excited about these things, not using their brains sometimes. Even most football fans, even Inter fans, like they get excited about shit, like even Man United fans. I'm like, I look at Morgan ROGERS. Very similar in terms of not profile, very similar positioning to Eddie in terms of how they play. Cut inside, starts on the left. He can play in the 10 or a left-sided 10 or an inside forward, blah, 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 all the stuff that Eddie does. Eddie went to Arsenal, played a couple of games on the left winger, and then everyone is saying, like, he's not a touchline winger. And Arteta plays with a touchline winger. So why is Eddie there? Oh, move Eddie to the 10. He's good. Odegaard is injured. He's good. Now we're going to go back to Martinelli and Trossard. So I'm afraid that it's going to be the same issue. He's going to start on the left winger, unless you're telling me that Arteta is going to change completely the plan and he's going to play with inside forwards instead of touchline wingers. And Morgan ROGERS is going to play inside and there's going to be an overlapping fullback out there. Somehow, miraculously, Calafiori is going to learn how to cross the ball and he's going to play as an overlapping fullback. Or Hincapia is going to stop defending and be an overlapping fullback. Morgan ROGERS isn't the right answer to, because we have said for years, Martinelli is an inside forward. He's more of a striker than a touchline winger. Trossard's more of an inside guy. So now you are going to get another inside forward, maybe an upgrade on them. Why ain't the touchline winger?
But Mo, what you're
He
talking
might-
about
I generally
there-
don't think he's
what
an
you're
upgrade
talking
on
about
Eze
there
on
is
the wing.
different than what I said. So what you're talking about is where he fits into the team. It's like the analysis, it's the tactical, it's all of the factual like information. It's the data-driven information. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the feeling, is the vibe, is the intangible thing. It's the thing you can't write down on a piece of paper. It's when you look at a player and you feel what kind of player they are. Because yes, there's so much data that's available.
What does that
Data's
mean?
important.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Do you not look at a player? Right.
She means
so
the chemistry mainly.
it's the feeling. It's
What
like the
chemistry?
thing you
He's never
can't.
played for Arsenal.
You're asking me to say the thing that can't be said. That's what I'm saying to you. It's a thing that you can't put the word on. You can't just write it on a piece of paper. It's not something that has like a data-driven
They had an
explanation.
Arsenal
For
vibe or something
example,
like.
yeah, every team has a vibe. Jack Grealish was not City vibe. He's a very good player. City are a very good team.
I think you're waffling.
vibe didn't
I
match.
genuinely believe you're waffling.
Why? Because
I
you
actually,
don't understand it. Because you don't understand it. It's awful. No, that's not. how
I
that
hear her
works, Mo.
point. To be honest, I do hear her point. I still think he should be playing in the 10 first, but I think what she's trying to say, and I do agree with her, is there are certain, especially with a team like Arsenal that is very, we don't have these, and this is probably why a lot of Arsenal fans don't want Mbappe. We don't have these players that are arrogant or have a certain attitude. Like the vibe between the players when they come in, the way they joke, the way they bond with each other, the way they hang out, the way they are close with each other. I think that kind of vibe is important, obviously, for chemistry. And I actually completely agree with that. And you see it even with, like, even in corporations, when you're hiring someone, sometimes you want to make sure the person is a culture fit as well, not just a fit from a skill set perspective. I hear that, and I think ROGERS fits that mold. I still don't think, Lou, it fixes the main issue of
Oh no.
the position of left wing, right? Because the reality
No, it
is,
doesn't fix your problem at all.
yeah, I don't think it does. I generally, if you look at the problems we have on the left wing and the players we played there last season, Trossard, Eze, and Martinelli, you basically have a player who's got fantastic pace, decent finishing, but we don't play to his strengths, and he's a bit brain dead sometimes to do things that are against the low block in Martinelli. We have a player who comes up clutch in many good moments, decent dribbler, but too inconsistent in Trossard to continuously play left wing for us the whole season. And then you have Eza, who's like an upgraded version of Trossard, but he's also unfortunately inconsistent on the left wing. You getting ROGERS does not give you the PNP you need on the left, does not give you the dribbling ability you need on the left wing. We were watching YouTube highlights on Kurapot, by the way. Because these guys were sad was saying ROGERS on the left. We literally opened his compilation video, ROGERS, and most of his highlights came through the middle. Some of them came even from the right. Most of the good stuff he was doing when he was running with the ball, shrugging defenders, shrugging midfielders, doing the dribbles. Yes, he had some good shots and all from the left. But most of the stuff he even did from the left were when he had spaces that he will not get with Arsenal. Because we are going to play against low blocks more than Villa do. So it doesn't actually fix the issue. This is why also I'm not that excited about Solis. Because I think if we keep saying, oh, we're going to keep playing against low blocks, every team wants to defend against Arsenal, every team wants to sit back, okay, then you need a difference maker on the left. You need an elite dribbler or someone of top quality dribbling that can create something out of nothing and do what Saka used to do for us a season or two ago, which hopefully he'll do again next season. Which means a Yildiz probably fits that mold more. Barcola, even though I think he's another version of Martinelli from a finishing perspective, and like just utilizing his pace a lot, but I think at least he can dribble and unlock defenses a lot more. Yildiz obviously can do that. I mentioned it. Mikel Arteta, even though I know he's a big question mark in terms of adapting from the Dutch league to the Premier League, but he seems to have that quality as well. But when people say, oh, Solis or ROGERS, I'm like, we're not really fixing our issue. We're not getting our version of, how can I say this? Like, if you look at the best teams in the world right now, PSG have Kvara and Doué. Bayern have Olise and Luis Diaz. Barcelona have Yamal and Rafinha. City have Doku and Semenyo. I know Semenyo obviously, but Semenyo also can dribble, to be fair. And then you look at Arsenal, we have Sako, I think is at that level. But then I don't see ROGERS the same type of winger that these other teams have that can damage teams with dribbling ability and with creating things out of nothing. The one thing he has over most players is he can shoot from outside the box and take really good shots. But the reality is, again, us playing against a low block consistently, I don't think he'll see as many opportunities to shoot as he would with Aston Villa. And Doku, for me, you know, I don't rate him that much, but Doku, at least from a dribbling perspective, opens up opportunities for City that no other winger would have opened up for them. Right? But the problem with Doku is he's inconsistent in terms of goals. We need a mix of both.
If we just go back to basics, do you think Morgan Rogers improves your squad?
As a 10, yes. As a winger, no. As a 10, I think he takes us to another level.
And do you think there's no chance at all you would play him in that position?
No, I think we can.
Who plays left? Who plays left? Who plays left?
I think Eze. I think Eze.
I'm just talking specifically about Rogers. You know, like sometimes I think, right, we're fans. Okay, we talk about football. We talk about football a lot. We read a lot of stuff, but like at the end of the day, see when you just boil it all down, we're just fans with a lot of opinions. Do you know what I mean? So just if I look at my team just as a fan and I'm linked to, does that player improve my team in an area that needs to be improved? Yes or no? Sometimes I
but
think
he ain't signed for that area. Let me hold on. That's Saliba.
But how do you know where they're signing him for?
Hold on.
But Fabrizio tweeted today that they're looking at him for the win. Again, unless Fabrizio doesn't know his information, which by the way, it's possible because Fabrizio does not know about Arsenal the way Ornstein does. And by the way, I've always wondered, how do these journalists know where Arteta plans to play a player? Because the reality is there's no way Arteta goes to the journalists and says, I'm looking to get Morgan Rogers as winger. I personally believe maybe it is for the wing, right? Just given what Arteta has done in the past. But there's no journalist that can come out 100% and say, we're definitely signing him to play him there. I also think that is a bit ridiculous. But Lou, this is why I said if we're getting him to play him in the 10, he improves us. But I have to answer your question with the context of in the 10.
Yeah,
I cannot say he definitely improves us if he ends up playing on the left. Because I don't think he does that much better than Eze on the left, for example. If we give Eze a whole season there.
Why not Nico Williams at Arsenal?
Numbers aren't good, man. For a winger, his numbers aren't good. I'm sorry.
Man, I haven't watched one.
Which is so funny because someone earlier in the comments said, I'm an eye test merchant because I was not looking at some stats between Gyokeres and Alvarez. But now he probably has a different opinion because I'm talking about stats. So I always tend to confuse fans because I use both stats and eye test. The problem is that those who only use eye test are obviously idiots because they don't understand how numbers matter in the game, especially for attackers. And the ones who only use numbers don't know how to add context without also looking at the eye test and how it could apply to your current team. But anyways, I just don't think Nico Williams has the numbers, but he could be good. Honestly, I would also love Diomande. I know we're not in for him. We're not. Liverpool and PSG already did the homework. They already did the groundwork. But bruh, like this guy, like the way he dribbles, the way he runs past players, he can play both wings. Obviously, he's a left winger primarily. And his numbers also are not that great, but I think because of his age, you can give him time and say he'll probably get there. But yeah, man, Diomande would be a fantastic signing for whoever he goes to. He roasted Hincapié. I hated watching that, but he destroyed Hincapié.
Mo and Ash, how many games of Barcola have you watched?
Last season, I probably watched like only 7 or 8, but the season before that and before that, I probably would have watched him at least 20, 25 games. That last season of Messi, I watched almost every PSG game, and he was just coming out at the time.
No, I didn't watch a lot of games last season, but I've watched the season before, and I've watched some of the big games, but it's not a lot.
His finish yesterday was superb, by the way. Yeah, his finish yesterday was incredible.
Trossard linked to Turkey, Rogers to replacement. So it's gonna be Rogers and Martinelli. Is that what we're saying for the left wing? Is that good enough?
No.
It's not so bad. I think Rogers would play well. But
when I say bad, I mean it's stagnation. Problem. I mean it's stagnation. You haven't improved.
I think it is improvement, but I don't think it's the improvement that you can get for £100 million on the left winger. Does that make sense? Like for £100 million on the left winger, you can get much more improvement on the winger.
Why do you think it's an improvement from what we currently have?
Because he's better than Martinelli and Trossard, even if he's not a winger.
But we can play Eze on the left. Is he better than Eze on the left? And Odegaard can play in the 10. You see, this is what I'm saying. I don't think it's that improvement. I think Rogers in the left wing.
And I'm like, when you put it this way, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally
Everything.
stagnation. But if you bring him in the 10, he's better than any midfielder we have in that position. Like, no one in our
Yes.
team can do what he does in that 10 position, in my opinion.
It's a woman's intuition, basically. Okay.
No,
It's not a
no,
woman's
not
intuition.
quite.
It's definitely, yeah.
It's not. I don't think she said that based on a woman's intuition. I think she said that because she thinks that ROGERS suit Arsenal team because of just how he
'Cause it's a
portrays
feeling.
himself on the pitch.
It's a
Yeah,
feeling.
it's
A lot
it's
of
not
the
a fact, it's a
comments,
fact.
maybe not super chats, but a lot of the comments knew what I was talking about as well, Mo. Just because you don't, it's not how you operate, doesn't mean it's not real.
It's not real if you. It's not real.
So if you can't
Absolutely
see
isn't.
things, they're not real. Let's
No.
not go down that rabbit hole.
If there is no evidence whatsoever, it's just a feeling.
There is evidence. I've just given you
Yeah,
a
but
case.
see, what
Jack
is the
Grealish in
evidence?
Manchester City, the vibe.
Tell
The
me a
vibe didn't
player
match.
that. Tell me a player that suit Man United. Like vibe, what?
Cunha. Like Cunha is a United player. You look at him, and probably all the rivals want to punch him in the face. He's a United player. He's
All right,
really
fair-
irritating.
fair
Ben
It's under
White.
your
That means
skin.
Ben White is a United
what I
player as well.
mean?
Ben White.
But you know what I mean. It is a feeling. It is a feeling, Mo. Come on, I know you've got feelings in there.
I do, but I don't. But I do.
Well,
but
it's all right, the
there are
chat
things to
understood.
say. There are things like I think you could have. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what you could have said, but like maybe ROGERS suit Arsenal because, for example, let me give you an example. Arsenal team aren't a team that is full of big egos. Arsenal team are a team that work hard for each other, and maybe a player X to that team because they aren't a team that is built on massive egos that are built.
But
on
wait,
working
I
for
can
each
challenge
other.
you on that as well. She can challenge you and say, what do you mean by egos? How do you know if someone has an ego or not? How do you
Mbappe,
define it?
I can give
But you're
examples.
missing the point in the
Mbappe-
first place.
wait, wait.
If you're
But wait, perfect,
explaining
perfect.
it, you're missing the point. The point
No,
is
no,
Can I-
and
can I-
notice,
you can't explain.
notice. And Lou, notice his example. You said Mbappe has an attitude. How? Explain. Why does Mbappe have an attitude?
Okay, Mbappe wouldn't work for the team based on what I watch. Mbappe would
No.
like people to work
No,
for
no,
him.
stick to your sentence. You
wouldn't
said he has
work
an
for the team.
attitude. How do you know he has an attitude? Like, what has he done to
I
show you I have an
literally
attitude?
explained he wouldn't work for the team. He wouldn't cover for his teammate. For example, let me give you an example. Mbappe. if
Does Messi
someone-
have an attitude?
No,
Messi doesn't run for the team. He doesn't track back.
he doesn't run for the team now because Messi now can do it. Messi back in the days with Barcelona used to press with them. Not the same.
Messi in the treble season
on.
did not.
Hold
in the
on.
treble
Hold
season.
on. Can I finish, Ashraf, please? Hold on.
Finish.
If it's instructions, and I know it's instructions by conserving energy and the other one will cover for you and stuff like this. But Messi even yesterday, Ashraf, Messi lost the ball, he ran back to get it. Even though
He
he
always
couldn't catch
does
up to
that.
Ainur. Okay.
But-
That tells me it's instructions. For example, the teammate passes to Messi and it gets intercepted. At Barcelona, Messi used to try to close down. Mbappe would turn his face and look disgusted. These are things that we all saw. Messi would not look and be disgusted on the pitch. I'm giving an example of other players. There are other players as well that would work hard for the team. What I'm saying now is something that you know you're trying to challenge me.
Work
You
hard.
know
No,
that.
no, because see, this is what I'm saying. Work hard is not the same as attitude. Because I can tell you, maybe Mbappe is instructions where save your energy, don't track back, and damage
Can I ask
teams
you
so you get
something?
the ball.
Can I ask you something? Do you think if someone passes, I don't want to stay here for a while. If someone passes the ball to Mbappe and it gets intercepted, do you think Mbappe would try to cover for his teammate? If Mbappe passes the ball wrong, do you think Mbappe most times than not would cover for his teammate if a teammate makes a mistake? It's a yes or no
I
question.
don't know, but
Yes
I
or no?
wouldn't call that a bad attitude because I've seen some Arsenal players sometimes not do that, and I wouldn't say that's bad attitude. I think some players
most Arsenal team would cover for the teammate. Okay, I played football. I know you did. Here is what we normally say to players, and I had a fight in my last game last season. I had a fight with a player that is a scumbag, right? Because this is what happened.
Oof.
I tried to dummy the ball, right, in the midfield to reach my right back. But my right back, and the ball got intercepted by the winger, and they scored. And the guy, when the ball didn't reach him, he did this, and he wouldn't. I tried to track back. In the same game, one of my teammates tried to pass me the ball, and it got intercepted. I covered for my teammate for the bad pass, and then I asked my teammate to do better next time. I told you, yeah, do better next time. Put some more power behind the pass next time. That's the difference in someone that has an attitude that wouldn't cover for the teammate's mistake and someone that will try to cover for the teammate. Some people
but
do,
that does
some
not
people
mean
don't.
you have a bad attitude more, because there are times.
It is a fucking bad attitude.
No, it isn't, because I've seen times when we give a through ball and it gets intercepted, or it doesn't come to Gyokeres and Gyokeres gets pissed off. He pushes Saka when he scored. Remember when he scored that goal against Chelsea, when Saka didn't pass him the ball the first time and Saka came to just celebrate with them and just pushed him away. I can tell that's attitude, but it's not. He was annoyed at that moment. In contrast, when Mbappe lost the last World Cup in 2022, when Mbappe lost the last World Cup in 2022, he went back to PSG training the next day. He didn't even take a day off. He didn't even take 2 days off, even though they were allowed to.
That's
no, that is attitude. I can say that's good attitude. I can say your attitude is you're hungry, you're willing to work for PSG. So you said, I'm not taking a day off. I just lost the World Cup final. I'm going back to training the next day.
Okay, that's working for yourself to be the best.
You need good attitude to do that. If you have a bad attitude, you will say, I'm allowed 3 days, so I will take 3 days off. Habibi, you know what you're doing.
Have you noticed I'm trying to talk and you are really interrupting me?
Because you're not letting me. Because when I interrupted you, you said, let me finish. So now when I'm speaking, you need to let me finish until I'm done.
I
wasn't finished. I'll tell you when I'm finished. When I'm finished, I'll tell you more. I'm done. Yeah. Don't worry.
All right.
You cannot selectively pick an attitude when it suits you and ignore it. An attitude is an attitude in everything, right? You cannot say he has a bad attitude in this, but in this he has a good attitude. Because in the end, it's your attitude overall. I agree he doesn't track back in certain things, but there are so many players that don't do that. I don't think Gyokeres has bad attitude because he got pissed off at Saka for not passing the ball to him, right? And I don't think Gyokeres sometimes not tracking back or pressing lazy, which is why Havertz started ahead of him in some games, is bad attitude from Gyokeres. Maybe that's work ethic. I agree with you. He doesn't have the best work ethic, defensively at least, but on the ball, he has fantastic work ethic. When he is able to pass the ball and link up and play the 1-2, he does that. But you're selectively picking what is bad attitude and you're ignoring the other good things he's done which show good attitude. You're ignoring the other times he's played through pain and through injuries and the number of times he showed up on training on time to make sure that he's there for his team. You're ignoring the fact that he could have easily gone in the media multiple times and spoken shit about certain teams and managers like Salah did, for example, and he chose not to do that. We all know he's had issues with Messi and Neymar, right? And he had fights with them. But he never let it show on the pitch. He never let it show behind the scenes. But obviously, we know that happened. So don't selectively pick where there's an attitude and ignore the other times. Henry had attitude, by the way. Henry had the biggest attitude. And he carried it even when he was a manager, where the Monaco players were saying, this guy used to push them away in training and say, give me the ball. Let me show you how to play. Let me show you how to do this. And they're like, he was managing as if he expects us to play like him. That doesn't mean he has bad attitude. It just means his work ethic or his expectations are different. I'm done. Now go on.
Just two different types of words.
And I won't even respond. Whatever you say, I won't respond. Wallah.
Okay. It can be, I just want to explain my point. It can be an attitude on the pitch we're playing, and you can have a great attitude in terms of like someone who has the work ethics are great. You work very hard, you train very well, you're the first one in training, you do all of this, but you aren't willing to work for the team. You are an individual player that will do what's best, right? For the team from your point of view, you wouldn't compensate part of your game for the rest of the team. That's, for me, that's also an attitude. That's a bad attitude. There are some players in world football that they wouldn't compensate or they wouldn't sacrifice. We're talking about this. They wouldn't sacrifice part of their games for the better of the team. And there are some players do. And by the way, some of the players that wouldn't sacrifice part of their games might be the best people to train, the best people to take care of themselves, first people to go back to training. They take the shortest vacation. That had nothing to do with being part of the team. I believe that some of the people that aren't willing to sacrifice part of their games, this is a bad attitude in football. People might call it confidence, but I call it, for me, it's a bad attitude because the team comes first before you. So that's it. I hope that.
By the way, I checked the stats for Eze and ROGERS because people are saying he's a better dribbler. Someone said, I don't remember who said he's a better dribbler than ROGERS. Last season, Eze completed more take-ons per game and had a higher take-on success percentage per game than ROGERS. 1.4 versus 1.2 and 58% take-on success versus ROGERS 35.59%. Even though Eze plays, I think you guys will agree, against more low blocks, and ROGERS with Villa plays against more open teams because of Villa, obviously. and yet he's a better dribbler than Eze apparently. But anyways,
Rogers is decent dribbling small spaces. He wins a lot of duels. Tall, good long shot. Trossard played as an inside forward, and it worked well when he was on form. Fair enough. We'll see if you guys think that Rogers is going to be an inside forward. So who's going to be the overlapping fullback? I don't know, JT, to be honest with you. Unless it's going to be continuously an inside forward thing, like what Eze did at Crystal Palace, like 3-4-3, whatever thing, when Eze was inside the pitch all the time, and Sar was the one a little bit outside holding the line. It depends. I still think that Arsenal should sign a winger like Doku that will open up defenses and will always be a threat, because that will open up chances for others, will open up spaces. And I think that maybe Barcola can do that. Alexis Kvaratskhelia does this. They do this all the time, by the way. Olise does this all the time, where they, from the touchline, they receive the ball on the touchline, the whole team shifts there, and they open up the team. Is Barcola Kvaratskhelia level? No, but I think he's the closest one on the market that is available for you to get. Diomande is similar to that. Like, I didn't watch Diomande at all. I watched him in Cote d'Ivoire when they played the other game. The guy is Doku, but just more physical, to be honest with you. His first
on the other wing
steps. Yeah, his first 2 steps were ridiculously quick, and his touch is not bad, and he can dribble. I thought he was fantastic, to be honest.
Wait, so let me ask you, because you obviously know this area. You wouldn't say Yildiz is on that level on the wing? He's top 10 in the top 5.
But he's more of an inside. Every time I see Yildiz, he's trying involuntarily to go inside the pitch all the time from halfway line. He's always trying to go inside the pitch. He doesn't like to go to the line. He likes to be in the center of action. So
I think he was like top 5 in the top 5 leagues in Europe for dribbles per game. Like,
when we played Yildiz in the beginning of the season, I didn't watch a lot of Juventus this season. Probably I watched like 5-10 games. Fair. Every time I watch the guy, he's so electric, but he's so inexperienced. And I think the Arsenal should look for a better level. I think Yildiz is a level below the players I'm talking about.
You think he's a level below Barcola and Diomande?
Barcola.
I would argue the opposite.
Yildiz.
Because I think he can dribble in tight spaces better than Barcola. I think he probably can do better against low blocks than Barcola. I think he's a better shooter than Barcola. I think he's a better passer than Barcola. Obviously, Barcola is quicker.
That means he's the number 1 player in the world. Like, release it.
No, Kvaratskhelia is better than him. I'm comparing him to Barcola only.
So you're talking about Kvaratskhelia and then Yildiz and then Barcola.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think Barcola. I think Yildiz is second level.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think so. Does Ashraf realize how
I don't
loud
watch
his
him as much as
microphone
you,
is?
so yeah. Anyways.
Is he as loud as his microphone is? I don't think it's as loud.
Listen, I have my settings on balance, so hey, I'm not changing anything. You can lower your volume, bro.
I think all of us sound the same. I think I know what because I'm not home, I'm far from my mic. That's why I'm a little bit. Marco saying Rogers is a good dribbler. He can shoot, can dribble, can pass. He's PNP, the full package we've been looking for at left wing. And this is pro Manelli fan.
Marco, what are you saying? I just proved to you that Eze does all that better. Statistically, I even went to the season before that because I had a feeling someone might push back and say, oh, you should compare them when they both played for like Villa and Palace. Even the season before that, Eze still averaged more dribbles, 2.4 to 1.9, and still had a higher take on success rate. You cannot tell me that Rogers is a better dribbler than Eze. There's no facts to prove it. My eye test doesn't prove it, doesn't see it, and the stats back what I'm seeing, which is Eze is a better dribbler. Where are we getting this garbage that, oh, he's a good dribbler on the wing? He's a decent dribbler. It doesn't fix what we have. I'm actually going to check if he's a better dribbler than Trossard, honestly, and I'm curious.
It's more subjective than objective, but 100% valid. As a viewer, you can see Arsenal are having a certain style. And the way Rogers plays fits her idea, and for me as well. Fair enough. Fair enough. Apparently, everyone likes the intangibles now. Great.
Even Trossard is better dribbling than Rogers, as per the stats.
There are intangibles, Mo. There's intangibles.
There are a lot of intangibles. It's intuition, which is scientific, proven thing. Yeah, okay. So as long as people say it's just something, it's a feeling. I have a feeling if it's Arsenal, I'm all right with it. I'm okay with that. I wouldn't push against it. Right? I wouldn't push
Anymore?
against it.
Any more than you already have?
Listen, I wanted to understand why does he so Arsenal. There's a lot of things that
But
I think Rogers
that's what I'm
so
saying to you, and it's what JT says. I know you kind of went off on the attitude tangent. The whole point of the intangible is that you can't explain it. That's literally the point. So when you try to boil it down, explain it, put it in a box, that's literally what it's not. It's a feeling. You might feel like he's not. Maybe you feel like Barcola.
I don't feel like he's not.
Arsenal.
I feel like he suits Arsenal as a team because of the physicality, because he works hard, because of like the way he plays. I think he doesn't have a big attitude.
But
this is where I will.
But it can also be, you can have all of the facts, right? Say you have a player that has all of those things, but it just doesn't feel quite.
Do you think Mbappe
right.
suits Arsenal?
No.
From that perspective.
No.
Oh my God.
No, like,
imagine.
Can you imagine Mbappe playing for Arsenal? Like, if you close your eyes, Mo, can you picture Mbappe in an Arsenal shirt? Like, can you see it in your mind's eye? Can you see it? No, of course you can. I can tell by your face. Of course you can.
But that's because it's not realistic, Lou. Not because he cannot do well for us. It's because it's not realistic. He's never signed for Arsenal.
But can you picture him?
So can you tell me other player that is not suiting us?
You know why I can. You know why I can, because if ask every Arsenal fan right now, if we could turn back the clock on one human being and we pick Thierry Henry and we bring him back to when he was 22, 23 years old, would Arsenal fans sign him now? If you say yes and you say no to Mbappe, you're being a hypocrite, because Henry would be having the same attitude. Henry never tracked back. If for those who remember him, there was many games that he would be standing up top and just waiting for the ball to come to him. So if Arsenal fans say yes to bringing back Henry now and no to taking Mbappe today, it's out of emotion and nothing else. It's not logic. That's just the reality. I would take Henry any day.
Not everything.
Yeah, I know, but this is where I will agree with Molo.
There is emotion in football. You've stats, you have facts, you have all the data analysis, which is kind of what you guys are talking about. But you've also got the emotion, the feeling, the fandom, the things that don't make sense. Even like it's you don't have to like it. It's a part of the game. But it's a part of the sport. It is.
Lou, I hear you, and I agreed with you earlier. But where I will agree with Mo, though, and Mo didn't say this, and maybe you didn't say this either, I would not base that as my main decision-making factor.
But not the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the other things check out, then I would look at that as well. But if the other things don't check out, like the stats, the metrics, and this one checks out, I would ignore it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That does not matter.
I wouldn't sign anybody purely on vibes, but I mean,
exactly. Okay, then we 100% agree.
That I think make sense on like a data-driven basis, and I have to pick between them. I'm looking at them and I'm going, right, this one feels right. You have to trust yourself.
I 100%.
Let me do these two because I want to move to the midfield, because I want to include City in this and Man United. Full package. I never said he's a better dribbler.
Yeah, but you say full package. Okay, full package means he's also a good dribbler. He's got pace. He doesn't have pace. He does not. When I say he doesn't have pace, obviously he can run. He's a professional footballer. But when I think of pace, I think of Doku, Martinelli, Barcola, Dembele back in the days, Mbappe. That's pace. Do not just bring any winger who can run and say he's got pace. He doesn't have that pace. He doesn't have the dribbling ability. So clearly he's not the full package. Full package as a winger would be Vinny Jr., for example. Can dribble, can run, speed, can shoot, can pass, can cross, can do everything a winger needs to have on that side, right? A full package is maybe, I don't know, Olisa or Luis Diaz if you take last season, basically. That's the full package. Or Mane, Mane was the full package before. 100%.
Ash, does Rogers have PNP? Yes or no question?
No, I don't think. I think he has physicality. I don't think he has pace. I don't think he has the pace for a winger. If you tell me pace as a midfielder, then yeah, because as a midfielder you don't need to be Mbappe kind of fast or Diomande kind of fast. But if you tell me as a winger, he doesn't have the first P, which is pace.
Henry not tracking back is bullshit. I watched all the games when he was playing for us. He was perfect He was a perfect player.
Guys, there is a game because I know this because I just watched it a year ago again. There's a game we played against United when we beat them 2-1 at Highbury. It's on YouTube. I can pull it up. I'll pull it up and send it next time. Go watch that match again. You will actually see the first half. He's walking on the pitch, which is normal because that's what all strikers did. R9, when he played against United and they lost 4-3, he scored a hat-trick where he barely even moved back. He just got the ball and took shots when he had the opportunity. I'm not saying anything to this, Henry. That's how strikers played back then. They didn't run back as much. They didn't track back. That United game, it's on YouTube. I just need to remember which it was. I think it was a Premier League game. And this is exactly how he used to play back then. He used to run a lot on the ball, but he wasn't like doing mad sprints defending the way our players play now, because back then strikers didn't defend that way. Back then strikers, a lot of them were not that into like running back and tracking and all that kind of stuff. And Henry, less than any other striker would run back as much. People are just lying through their teeth, bro, pretending like they that's revisionism, man. It's insane.
About the midfield though.
Hussam, ya hayawan. Thank God Jordan lost today. You deserve it, you fraud. I agreed with her, you idiot. I agreed with her. What do you mean? From the beginning, I've been agreeing with her on that point.
Lou, I understand.
Thank God Jordan lost.
I understand you. Don't worry.
Alhamdulillah.
These are too emotionalist. Oh, someone got engaged and now he has a lot of emotions and he's full of emotions in the world, you know. Bro, go give your emotions to your fiance. We don't want your emotions here. Anyway, the midfield though. Matthias Fernandez, Elliot Anderson, and Tonaly. Rank them. However, rank them first, player for player.
Who was the third one? Tonaly, Anderson, and who?
Tonaly, Anderson, and Matthias Fernandez. The one that
Fernandez.
you're trying to
Sorry.
say.
No, I literally was laughing still. I didn't hear what you said. Just ability. Tonaly, Anderson, Fernandez. Just pure ability, nothing else. That's no context.
Anderson, Tonali, Matthias Fernandez.
Fair enough. What about the price though? Okay, for the price. Matthias Fernandez 80 million. And Sandro Tonali 100 million. Elliot Anderson 130 million. Rank the deals for the price you pay.
Same.
I don't think anybody's paying 80 million for Fernandez.
You are
I don't
paying
think it's
80
happening.
million.
No. No, don't be silly. The internet told you we're paying 80 million. Whoever pays, right? Whoever pays the first asking price. West Ham say 80, we say 60. It's somewhere in the middle around 70, 75.
70. I'll give you 70.
It's not going to be 80, Mo. Nobody ever pays the first asking price. Come on. Like,
I would still put Elliot Anderson as the best deal for 130 million.
Really?
Yeah, I would keep the same order. Because
I think Anderson is so talented. I think if he goes to City, which is I think where he'll probably end up, I think he does everything you need from a midfielder like that in that position. We don't look at Declan Rice now. We don't look back at it and say 105 million, but is there someone we could have got that was better for like 60 million? I promise you, like no Arsenal fan would ever think that, because that you tell me right now we could go back and sign Declan Rice for 105 million or I don't know, Caicedo for 80 million. I promise you I would pick Declan Rice. And that's not emotional. You know, I don't do the emotional takes. I still would take Declan Rice for an extra 20, 30 million because I think he gives you that much more, honestly. I think 130 million for Anderson is ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a stupid amount. But in terms of like for City and the money they have, because they do have a lot of resources, I don't think they have money issues. I don't think they will spend that money and in 4 or 5 years look back at it and say, damn, we just wasted that money. I don't think they would.
I do. I think Rice, I think you're right. I think he was worth the money for you because of the impact he's had. I do not believe for a single minute Anderson is going to have that impact on Manchester City. No chance. I don't think from at any point he was worth 130. I don't think he's worth 100, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, he's not definitely one no.
I think he's a very good player. I think he's a talented player. I think he has qualities. I wouldn't be devastated if Man United had signed him. But from the very beginning, before it was obvious he was leaning to Manchester City, I've said, I feel like because the story has been going on and on and on and on, and then everybody's talking about it, and then it's the Marinakis factor, and then it's, there's the drama that comes with it, there's the story that comes with it, there's the whole surrounding chaos, and it becomes this, it takes on a life of its own, and then it's, oh, well, pay for the player, get the player, beat the rivals, he's got to be the best thing since sliced bread, and do you know what it is? I think he's 80 million. I wouldn't pay more than 80 million. I think he's a good player. I think 130 million. Hold on.
Can I stop you here?
Yeah.
Can I stop you here?
Go for it.
If Matthias Fernandez is 70 million, do you still hold the same opinion? No,
she didn't answer. She was waiting.
Hold on a minute, Mo. First of all, can I just say, you've been really rude. You've interrupted me several times since I've been on the stream.
No, I want to...
Then you interrupted me. No. Don't interrupt me again when I'm talking about you interrupting me, right? So you've interrupted me multiple times on the stream. You've cut me off every single time I've spoken. You then cut me off to ask me a question, and you haven't finished your question to let me answer. Before
I finished it. I thought I finished it. I finished it. I thought I finished the question.
Was there more to that question?
I think Lou, Lou
interrupted me.
Lou, when you said yeah to repeat his question, I think he assumed you answered the question.
Yes,
by saying yeah.
I thought you answered the question.
That's what happened.
I said yes, ask me the question because you're interrupting me anyway.
No, I interrupted you because it's related to what you said. When you said 80 million, I normally interrupt you. When you said I think he's 80 million, is that in relevance to the 70 million that you put on a price for Fernandez?
No, I think Matheus Fernandez is overpriced as well. No, I think he's overpriced too.
So
I think they're all overpriced.
They are.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. If we're gonna do the market, we're gonna put the benchmark. Someone put the benchmark so we can assess the prices.
I think because I said I think Tonali is better than Anderson, I would pay 100 for Tonali. I would pay maybe 80.
Now we're talking.
Listen to context. Because what Tonali gives me is more than what Anderson gives me. Because I'm talking about United. So what I gave my list at the start, I said just based on talent. That was talent alone, right? But then I look at what does United need. Anderson is a good player. But I've watched almost every Premier League game of every team this season. I've watched all of them because I only started the channel. I only started my channel this season. And I didn't feel like I knew enough about all of the teams. So I watched all of the teams, most of the games, okay? Elliot Anderson is a very good player. And I believe he will improve. And I think when he goes to City, I think he will add. I don't think he's going to be revolutionary. I don't think he's going to do what Rice did for Arsenal. But I do think he'll be good. And I think he will continue to grow into the future. Do I think he's worth 130 million right now for the impact he would bring to Manchester United? Not a chance. Not on your Nelly. Tonali has a head on his shoulders. He has that experience we need. He's been there and done that. And actually, while he's good defensively, he's also good going forward. A lot of people think of Tonali as a six, as a defense. He's not. He goes forward a lot. He spends a lot of time bombing down the right wing. Bruno G is the defensive monster in that. But I feel like Tonali gives me more of it than Anderson. If we're going to have Menu and we're going to have Ederson and we're going to have, for example, Matheus Fernandez, do I want Anderson as well? No, because I don't think we get the best out of him. So, for example, what's the best way to put it? I think for what we need, I think Tonali's better. I rate Tonali. I think his experience, there's just more there for me. It's more robust what he's given. So I would rate Tonali higher than Anderson. But if I'm saying Tonali's 100, Anderson's 80, I'm probably saying Matheus Fernandez is 50-55. That would be my sort of, you know what I mean?
What attributes do you think Tonali is better than Ederson? I know you mentioned obviously experience, which is very important because he's a league-winning player.
Know-how. Do you know the kind of like, I talk a lot of the time about, because people say about speed. People talk about speed in midfielders. And I often say that, Paul Scholes was not the fastest midfielder. but he was incredibly football intelligent. He was very aware. He knew what other people were going to do before they were going to do it. He just had that thing where he could read a game. And maybe Anderson has that, but I haven't seen the evidence of that. I've seen him have very good games. I've seen him have some not so good games. And for the price that's being asked, I would want him to be next to infallible, and he's not. He may become that player, but he's not right now. He's on the way to it. He's not there yet. And I'm not ready.
Honestly, I'm not
ready to take that chance.
I was going to say, I think it's the opposite of Anderson. I think on the ball, that ability and understanding and ability to read the game, to intercept the pass before it becomes dangerous, and the way he keeps the ball and carries it forward, I actually think he's better than Tonaly at that. I think he's a better dribbler. I think he's better defensively. He wins the ball back a lot more. I think I don't know the stats, but I believe statistically he's one of the best midfielders as well in the league in terms of winning the ball back from interceptions and tackles. If I'm not wrong, I remember seeing something like that before, and that's definitely what I've seen before. I remember when we played him at their ground when we drew 0-0. Guy was a monster. We couldn't get past him, right? And I've seen it in other games as well. I know, like obviously we've spoken to Wolfie, who's the Forest fan, and he said he's not a great shooter. And obviously, I'm not gonna. It's just one game, so maybe that game he just was on smoke. But that shot and that goal he scored against Man City from outside the box, you cannot see someone take a shot like that and say he cannot shoot. I just think maybe he doesn't do it consistently enough. I don't know. Look, Tonali,
he's not consistent. He's very good. I think his baseline is very good. I think he's a very good player. I think he's very talented. I think he will continue to grow. I'm not slagging him off, but I think City's a better fit for Anderson where he is and where they are than he is for United.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I agree with that part.
I've been saying for months, I don't think we get Anderson, and I suppose that's why I didn't. A lot of United fans had a little bit of a temper tantrum when it came out that we didn't bid for him and blah blah blah. Right? If we spoke to him or we've sounded him out behind the scenes, and he sort of said, "Look, lads, I'm leaning to City, and we know City want him, and we know we're not going to pay Marinakis price for a player." What is the point in getting mad? Like, what is the point in getting mad? He doesn't want us. We're not willing to pay the price. Why are we losing the plot? I also, to be fair, don't think Tonaly comes to us. He would be my preference, but I don't think he comes to us either. I actually think he is holding out for City as well, because he has been touted all over the gaff. His agent is putting him here, there, and everywhere. He was going to Italy, except they can't afford him. Then he was coming to United. Then he was linked to Arsenal. He was linked to City. Now he's going to Spurs. He's linked all over the place. But nothing has actually ever gone forward with any team. It's always interest, talks, they're being informed on him, blah, 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 right? But nobody's done anything, despite the fact that these rumours have been going around for months. So I believe, and this is a vibe, Mo. This is a vibe, right? I feel like he's waiting for something that hasn't been offered yet. Because otherwise, why is nothing moved forward with any team?
They said that he's
hoping that the Anderson deal to City will get too expensive, fall through, and then they'll come for him. And
again, I'm not as up to date with like reports as obviously Mo would be, but I did read somewhere that he does want Arsenal, or he had some sort of Newcastle believe he could join Arsenal. I personally don't think we go for a Tonaly. I don't think we even go for a midfielder. I think if we get someone, we probably get someone like a Boadi who's younger, who'll be willing to compete for a spot at least for a season or two, versus get someone who automatically completely throws Zubimendi out of the picture. And I don't think Arteta would do something like that at this point. Mm-hmm. I do hear a point about City, but I only think he goes to City with Anderson if Rodri leaves. If Rodri doesn't leave, I think they only get one of them. Yeah. And I think they only pivot to Tonali if the Anderson deal becomes too expensive, and they're like, listen, we're not going to pay. Because City have done this in the past, where even though I know we see them spending a lot of money, but to be fair to City, they do walk away if they think the deal is a bit too much. Like, I think they have that business sense as well. So you never know. I don't think
Anderson deal is going to happen. You know, the difference is 10 million. It's 10 million pounds now. Yeah.
They're talking,
then
but
it will
I
happen.
think that's what I think that's what Tonali was hoping, because this was at the time when he was initially linked to City, was around the time they thought that Rodri was being linked away as well. And then Real Madrid said after they got Silva, oh, well, we don't really mind. Rodri will take him, will not take him, or you could do what you want, essentially. I don't necessarily think City want both. I think he was hoping something was going to happen that would allow him to go to City. I also, to be honest, I know the Spurs talk is a little bit mad.
Lou, I saw that. Come on.
But wait,
I saw that comment. I didn't even want to entertain it.
But big fish, small pond. Big fish, small pond. Ego. Also, a lot of I don't necessarily believe the Lewis Hall rumours that he's fell out with Eddie Howe, but a lot of fans talk about a lack of ambition from Newcastle and that maybe Eddie Howe has done what he can do at Newcastle and that maybe Eddie Howe should have been moved on. And if fans are feeling that way, opposition and Newcastle fans, then maybe some players had made the assumption that maybe Eddie Howe would be moved on, that things would get better at Newcastle. They talk about stagnation. I think Newcastle are stagnating under Eddie Howe and I think they needed to move him on. Potentially some of their players not have had a fallout with Eddie Howe, but maybe feel like keeping him isn't the best thing for Newcastle or their careers. And that if they're going to stagnate with Newcastle and he is going to stay, maybe they're going to make some different decisions. Maybe if their first choice option, so in this case, let's theorize it was City, and he goes, okay, big fish, small pond. And also Roberto De Zerbi has very strong links to Brescia, which is where Tonali's from. Sometimes there's things that seem crazy and then they happen. It's so crazy. Why would it even be said if there's nothing to it? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. I just think it's so crazy. Why would it come out?
Lou, I think Spurs do want him. I never once questioned that. I think Fabrizio, I think De Zerbi might have some sort of appeal as an Italian manager who plays nice, expansive football, blah, blah, blah. But there is no chance in hell that someone like Tonali, who's being chased by Arsenal and and United and City, would even consider a move to Spurs, which is why I don't see that happening.
I'm not convinced United are chasing him. Nothing has happened. We like him, but nothing has happened. We haven't commenced talks. We haven't made offers. I mean, there's nothing. Nothing has gone beyond. We like him.
But I generally believe
that they inquired. Okay, just let me tell you the report. Fabrizio already confirmed that Man United went and asked for the package. He told them that package would be 100 million. Man United said, thank you so much. We need cheaper options. So Man United wanted him.
But so we're not chasing him.
But then when they were told that the package price is 100 million, they said, okay, well, we can't do
I'll tell you this.
The starting price is too high for Man United. The 85 million that West Ham said, Man United said, that's too much. Man United want to pay 65.
But this is, but that's my point. I don't feel like United and Arsenal are chasing him. I think Arsenal are concentrating on other things. I think they're concentrating like that on ROGERS. I think they're looking to see what's happening with Alvarez. I think, again, they're interested. I think the interest is genuine, but I don't feel like right now they're chasing him. I don't feel like they're actively doing anything to pursue him, and Spurs are.
Okay, can I ask you this? If he has a choice then this summer
of
I either stay at Newcastle or I go join Spurs, what do you think he picks?
I think Spurs. Because
I think it goes to the Derby.
Since about a month before the end of the season, his agent has been touting him. He's been basically putting him on his cart and wheeling him from club to club to club, going, do you want him? Do you want him? Do you want him? Do you want him? And as I said, there's that Brescia link between De Zerbi and Tonali. And I read a story the other day. The Vuskovic that wants to go to Brighton. He wants to go to Brighton because he trusts Fabian Hertzler. He trusts the manager to give him what he wants. That matters. When you have a relationship with a manager, it does matter. It's not everything, again, but it is a factor. And I think he is so determined to leave Newcastle, and he's decided in his mind he's leaving Newcastle. If he can't get the clubs that he primarily wanted, but he can get to De Zerbi, who he might have this link to, and he becomes the big fish, he would be kind of the main guy. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's as crazy as it first sounds when you hear it.
I think if he does that, he would absolutely ruin his career. I think he's better off staying one more year at Newcastle and then making another move, a move to a big club that obviously would want him.
I think Newcastle finish. I think Spurs finish ahead of Newcastle.
I agree.
No, I know. But I'm saying just because Spurs finish above Newcastle doesn't mean Spurs are a big club.
And Newcastle don't play Champions League anyway, so it's not attractive to stay one more. You're not even seen in the world football.
I know, but I'm saying in the long run, if he, let's say, stays one more year, let's assume he doesn't get a move to City, to Arsenal, to United, to none of the big clubs, none of them make it. I think if he stays one more year with Newcastle, obviously doesn't sign a new contract extension or anything like that, his value probably goes down just because I don't know how many years he has left in his contract, so I'm not going to assume. But yeah, but I think a year later, he gets a better chance at moving to a big club versus if he goes to Spurs this summer, you're locked in for at least 3 years.
Can I tell you the problem with this?
Well, what is the problem?
With this? 2 problems. Number one, if Newcastle has a bad season again, the likes of Bruno Guimaraes will be out of the door first. And Bruno Guimaraes' stock in world football is higher than him. So teams would come in and pay higher for Bruno Guimaraes. And Newcastle will be reluctant to let go the 2 in 1 season. Number 2, the wages. As of now, Tonali can go and ask for a decent wages. If Newcastle have a terrible season again, your wage demands from other clubs will not be the same as you are still now. People are still remembering Tonali as a good player. He's out there.
No, Mo.
I think
that's not true. Bro, Havertz had a horrendous season in 22-23. They finished 12th, and we gave him 285,000. I think the reality is, no matter how shit a club is, there's a reason why Anderson is like they're paying 120 or 30, how much of it they're paying for him, even though initially they were battling relegation. I think if you are that good of a player, even if your team is bad, other teams will still recognize, especially if they end up paying less in transfer fee for you, they will recognize that you're still that kind of quality. And he's not even, how old is he? He's not like he's 28, 29. I think he's in the mid-20s or maybe a bit older. I'm not sure.
But if he's already decided 26. That he wants to leave, if he's already made the decision that he wants to leave Newcastle, because this has been talked, if he's already decided that, I don't think he's thinking, what if one more year? I think he's thinking, I've already made that decision. Like, we did see it. It's not impossible. I mean, we saw Emi Martinez waved goodbye to the Villa fans at the end of last season and then stayed another season. I mean, it can happen. I just think it's less likely if he's already made the decision he wants to go. I think it's less likely that he stays, regardless of the logistics or the facts of the matter. If he's made the decision, like, as humans, we're biased to that. If we've made a decision, we're more biased to follow through than change our minds.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? It's not impossible, but I don't think it's likely that he stays at.
I hear you. I just think if his get out of jail card is Spurs, obviously you're improving because Spurs is a bigger club than Newcastle. It is better, but I think a player of his quality can eventually play at a massive club. He can play at Liverpool. He can play at Arsenal. He can play at City. He can play at these clubs. Maybe even he can maybe even go outside. But anyways, we'll wait and see. I think one signing that is so crystal clear for me that I genuinely believe it'll happen. I'll be actually shocked if it doesn't happen. Is Lewis Hall to Chelsea? I think now that Cucurella is gone, Lewis Hall is their academy player. They need a left back. Obviously, as you mentioned earlier, things with Eddie Howe, maybe like things are not that settled anymore. I feel Chelsea will push for a left back like that. I think Lewis Hall is probably someone that will end up.
I don't think Lewis Hall leaves Newcastle. I don't think he leaves Newcastle.
He's a Chelsea kid. He might.
He's a Newcastle fan. His whole family is Newcastle fans. And I know you don't.
From the Chelsea Academy, or maybe I was wrong then.
I don't know where he's from, but
yes, he is from the Chelsea Academy.
He's a Newcastle fan, and the family are Newcastle fans. Like that, I know that doesn't always decide. I mean, Wayne Rooney was an Everton fan. It doesn't always make the decision for you. But then you look at Jared Bowen, who's staying in the Championship, even though he really wants to come to the Premier League because of his connections to the club, because of family influences. It's a factor. A lot of these things have multiple factors. I don't think he leaves. I really don't. I know there's a lot of talk, and there's talk till you're blue in the face. And I might be completely wrong. I just don't see it. And this thing of him falling out with Eddie Howe come out to be absolute nonsense. That actually, not only was he not angry at Eddie Howe, but he was quite grateful for the opportunity he had in the first place. And that probably comes down to which journalists you believe. There's a fallout, there's not a fallout. I don't think he leaves. Maybe he does again because it's all guesswork, but I don't think so.
I think he ends up at Man United, to be honest with you.
If he leaves, I think he comes to us quicker than Chelsea. But I don't think he leaves. I think so. I would take him in a heartbeat, but I think it's wishful thinking.
I think he goes to Man United, not Chelsea. That's what I think.
I mean, I would take him. I would take that.
I don't think Chelsea would pay I don't think that Chelsea will pay the money needed for him.
Well, to be
That
fair,
makes
we don't have a
sense.
left back. We've Luke Shaw, who's going to break down. We've no other left back. So we
I
need
think
somebody. But
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think you take him. Genuinely, I think you take him.
I'd pay
I
for
think he
him.
goes to.
Forget
Yeah,
through
yeah.
necessity. You know, I'd pay for him. But I really don't see him leaving Newcastle. If he does, I think he comes to us quicker than Chelsea.
Fair enough. Let me do this so we can actually finish. W. Lou. Okay. Why are your guests so mean to you, Mo? He wasn't mean.
Hey, we're not mean all the time. Come on.
Not
Bad
all the
to
I
time.
was on my best behavior today.
I think she was mean.
Mo is lucky Hussam wasn't here. Hussam would have loved that moment. Hussam would have just gone on Mo like crazy.
Yeah. The best for England and Arsenal would be for Arsenal to sign Anderson. Rice and Anderson would be great together. Thoughts?
No.
Also coming.
Nah, bro. If we need another midfielder next to Rice, look, I hear it, but I wouldn't like. I think it's such low priority for us to be spending that kind of money.
130
Low
million.
priority.
I actually don't think that they
Even
provide
80 million, I
balance.
wouldn't pay. I'm not joking. Like,
You know what? Even for
our needs.
England, Magnum, I just said that even for England, it's either Rice or Anderson next to Kobe Mainoo would be better. Rice and Anderson together, I think it will work, but it won't work as good as people think, to be honest. I think it's better to have Rice and Mainoo or Anderson and Mainoo. That's what I think, to be honest. I like
think
Anderson.
they're better
I
off
think he's a
having
decent.
Rice, Bellingham, and Rogers. I think that's their best midfield.
Anything wrong with my name? No, nothing wrong with your name, and I'm not gonna say. Arsenal must sign Zolis. They need him. I didn't watch a lot of him, so I'm not informed about this.
His stats are very good. For someone who operates on vibes, I did look at his stats. They're very good.
I'm not
but it's the
informed
Belgian
about
league,
this.
to be fair.
Yeah, but what do we say over here? You can only play what's in front of you. He's performing where he is, and like you can't have 5 years of work experience before you've ever had a job. So they can't all have experience.
Against Barcelona and against Arsenal as well, bro. He wasn't good in the game, honestly. Yeah.
Fair
enough. Arsenal should get Alex Scott.
I like Alex Scott.
I like Alex
Scott.
Again, we don't need him though. Like,
no, but I like him anyway.
Yeah. The only midfielder I would get, and maybe some of it is slight bias because he's Moroccan, is Bouadi, just because he's 18, he has time, blah, blah. Because right now, we have experience in the midfield. We have Rice, we have Zubimendi, we have Moreno. These are all very experienced players. Obviously, Odegaard has their experience too. We don't need another player like Alex Scott or Tonaly or Anderson. I think, especially, and Skelly. We already have a youngster in Skelly who ended the season fantastically for us in the midfield. So we don't need another one. If you get Bouadi, fair enough, but none of these other guys, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I think that's it, people. I think we're just gonna let people go, watch the game, enjoy their time. That is one of the shortest show. Lou, that's not your debut on the channel. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate you. Guys, Lou's channel is in the description, so go and support Lou. Quest couldn't join us. He had an emergency. Ashraf, always appreciate you. One of the best shows we do weekly, guys, here. We're gonna try to keep you consistent here. We're going to try to have Lou on the channel all the time with these people, since Man United are going to be a big player. If Ashraf is okay with this, of course, because he's the main guy on this show.
Quest don't get a word in if there's another one of us.
Listen.
Well, he didn't even join the show. He didn't even join the show.
As long as you don't interrupt her again, we're fine. Like, what do you mean? Why would I have an issue?
Oh my God. All right. This will take you, of course, to Osama's. We'll take you to Osama's watch along. I'm going to do a show solo tomorrow in the morning. We'll discuss some of the conversations that happened, of course. Okay, just answer this quickly.
Isn't Krupi a striker, no? So it's not the same. But yeah, Krupi I think is better than Solis, at least from a talent perspective. But it's not a fair comparison. They don't play the same position. At least I don't think so. I could be wrong.
I like Krupi, but I think as well, I'm more biased to players I know. I've seen more of Krupi than Solis, so I'm more biased towards him. I don't know if there's no facts about it. I would just say, yeah, because I've seen Krupi and I like him. Do you know what I mean?
Can I say this though? I do think Krupi is overrated. Even though I'm saying he's better than Solis, because I think Solis also might be overrated. But I do think Krupi is overrated because obviously he's 19. Some of the goals he scored are fantastic, but I don't know. Like I think what he's good at is he's a fantastic finisher, incredible finisher, and I think he makes the right decisions. He reminds me of like Julian Alvarez in that way. But I think if you're praising someone like that, and obviously Bournemouth are coding something mental. At least let him have 2 or 3 good seasons like that, not just one. So let's wait.
Yeah, they're quoting like money that is so much, and I'm like, are you crazy?
No.
Is anyone now that's gonna
pay
score like
100
10
million
goals?
for Krupi? Yeah, it's mad.
I think it's mad. I genuinely believe it's fucking crazy that they're doing this. Everyone now wants 100 million for their players. Everyone. They all want 100 million. But anyway, I'm gonna see you guys soon, and we're out of here, people. This will take, of course, to Osam's watch along, go and support. We're out of here.
Tell him Austria.